everybody. We are over halfway through the NFL season, and it is week 10 over on OwnersBox, and this week we have our top 5 running backs for you. If you haven't played OwnersBox yet, best place to play daily fantasy sports. Go over there. You can use the link in our description. Use code MENLY, and they'll match your deposit up to $500 for first-time users. Soda's going to start us off with our honorable mentions at the running back position.
Honorable mention this week. We got Tony Pollard. Really wanted to put him in the top 5, but with Zeke coming back, just tough to do. And then one that Adam wanted in the top 5 in David Montgomery. And before we get into the top 5, I'm just going to throw this out here that Adam and I made a little side bet. And I'm predicting that Herbert, Khalil, is that his first name? Khalil
Herbert, yep.
Yeah. Gets more fantasy points than Montgomery this week. So, because of our disagreement, he could not go in the top 5, but still worthy of honorable mention.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and throw it in the comments who you think is going to have more fantasy points between the two Bears running backs. We'll see who comes out on top there. But we will get into our top 5. Starting us off is a guy who has been quiet these past few weeks. He's been injured, but we're going to try to stay ahead of the curve, and we are talking about DeAndre Swift going against the Chicago Bears. So what do you think about DeAndre Swift?
I like how you put that staying ahead of the curve, because we could just give everyone 5 of the highest priced running backs, but that's not really the goal of the show. We're trying to bring some value to the plays for the listeners, and this one is just one that just feels like Swift could pop this week. And coach keeps saying he's getting healthier and healthier each week, thinking he's going to get more carries, and he's got that explosive play ability. So I'm predicting he finds the end zone this week.
Yeah, and in the red zone against running backs, the Chicago Bears are ranked second to last. So we like that from DeAndre Swift. Only issue is you get a lot of red zone carries from Jamal Williams, but we're hoping DeAndre Swift is almost back to full health and he can be that force he was before he got hurt in the Vikings game, actually.
Exactly.
That leads us to number 4, and it's a guy who's been very popular with us, kind of popular everywhere, and that is Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce used to be a cheap guy on here. There are no cheap running backs. If you are looking to save at the running back position, you're looking in the wrong place. We're going to have to save other places, but Dameon Pierce is $5,700 going against the New York Giants. So what do you think about Dameon Pierce?
I do think you've wanted to put him in the top 5 every single week, but justifiably so. The amount of carries he gets and the amount that Texans offense relies on him is just insane. If you think about it, they don't really have much else. Not sure Brandon Cook's going to suit up for him again, so they're going to have to rely on Pierce even more. But you see what he did with 27 carries last week, and he's probably due for a rushing touchdown here pretty soon.
Yeah, had a good game against the Eagles. The Giants are third to last in yards per attempt for running backs, so hopefully Dameon Pierce can pop off a few big ones. Something that we did want to note, in the past few weeks, I've been using this opponent rank pretty frequently over on OwnersBox, and we've come to learn that is incorrect. We're pretty sure it's backwards, so we don't recommend using this opponent rank tool on OwnersBox until they get it fixed. We've been comparing it to other sites, and we think they might have it backwards, so keep an eye on that. We'll move on to number 3, and that is Alvin Kamara going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been pretty atrocious on defense. Alvin Kamara gets 7 targets a game, which is huge in this PPR format. So what do you think about Alvin Kamara?
Well, Monday night was very disappointing from Kamara. Had him in a lot of play lineups, a lot of picks, player props, and he let me down, but I think he's going to bounce back big this week. And I think he's going to see an increase in volume, not only carries, but in the receiving game. So looking forward to it, and definitely don't want to miss out on this opportunity. The Steelers defense just stinks without TJ Watt. So I think he's a must play.
Yeah, and the Saints going against the Steelers should be a decent game. We're not sure if Jarvis Landry is going to be back. He's still listed as questionable. Other than that, in the pass game, Alvin Kamara is probably the number 2 option behind Olave. We'll move on to number 2. We have Travis Etienne. Is this his first time in our top 5, Soda?
It is.
Maybe second?
It is. I think it's our first time putting him in there, but justifiably so. I mean, we see why the Jaguars got rid of James Robinson. Without a doubt, Etienne can be that guy. The one thing you haven't seen from him completely yet is some explosive pass game plays from him. But if you watch him in college, you know that's something he's capable of. And it wouldn't surprise me if he starts getting a little more involved in the pass game as well.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to this week, especially going against Kansas City. They'll likely be playing from behind. But Travis Etienne, third in rush attempts over the last 3 weeks, and that's mainly because he has become the workhorse back, and he has made the most of it. But like Soda said, we'll hope to see him in the pass game a little more this week going against the Chiefs. But Travis Etienne is our number 2 play. And that brings us to our number 1 play. This should be no surprise to anybody. He is the most expensive back over on OwnersBox at $6,600. But he's going against Houston, who is third. No, sorry. They give up the most rushing touchdowns. They're dead last, and they give up 33 fantasy points a game to the running back position. Soda, what do you think about Saquon being our number 1 running back?
I did not know about that fun fact of 33 fantasy points per game, but Saquon's is going to have a humongous week, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll build a lineup that doesn't have him in it. I hope they're playing with the lead. I hope that he gets 35 carries this week.
Yeah, and like we said, running back is a place where you're going to want to pay up. You look at the differentiation here. You might as well pay the $6,600 for Saquon rather than going down here for like an Aaron Jones or a Jacobs. Just pay the $500 more for Saquon and then save money elsewhere, either at the tight end or the receiver position. But to recap, our top 5 running backs this week over on OwnersBox. Number 5, DeAndre Swift. Number 4, Dameon Pierce. Number 3, Alvin Kamara. Number 2, Travis Etienne. And number 1, Saquon Barkley. Hope everyone has a great week on OwnersBox. Stay manly, everybody.